God's original plan, Faith, was a young, beautiful Christian sister, deeply devoted to God. From her teenage years, she had loved singing in the choir and leading worship. Her voice was angelic. Every time she lifted it, people felt God's presence. Many in her church admired her zeal, and her pastor often reminded her, "Faith, don't joke with your calling. God has great plans for you." Brother Mark was also in the choir, tall, humble, and with a heart burning for the things of God. He wasn't rich, but he loved God with all his strength. From the very first day Faith joined the choir, Mark noticed her, but he waited and prayed. One night, during her quiet time, Faith also felt a strong conviction in her spirit. God revealed to her that Mark was her future husband. The confirmation came in different ways. Her pastor spoke to her one day and said, "Faith, be patient. God has already written your story." Even her parents and close friends saw the connection and approved when Mark officially proposed. Everyone knew this was God's original plan, so their courtship began. Faith and Mark were inseparable. They prayed together, sang together, and even ministered at youth programs together. Their love was pure, focused on building a godly home and fulfilling their divine calling. The whole church rejoiced at their relationship, waiting for the wedding that would surely be a testimony. But as time went on, distraction crept in. One Sunday, a new brother joined the church. His name was Luke. He was wealthy, drove flashy cars, and always dressed elegantly. He gave big offerings and donated heavily to church projects. Many people admired him, but deep inside, Luke's heart was not truly surrendered to God. He only used religion as a disguise. Faith noticed how Luke began showing her attention. He complimented her voice, offered her gifts, and even promised to sponsor her music ministry. At first, Faith resisted, but gradually she allowed her heart to wander. She started comparing Luke's wealth with Mark's simplicity. Maybe God wants me to enjoy comfort, she thought. Her friends, family, and even her pastor warned her, "Sister Faith, be careful, this is not God's plan for you." But she refused to listen. Her eyes were already fixed on Luke's riches. Mark, with a broken heart, begged her, "Faith, remember what God told us. Don't throw it away." But Faith pushed him aside. She told herself, "Mark is a good man, but love without money is suffering. Luke can take me places." So, against every warning, Faith married Luke. At first, the marriage looked glamorous. Luke bought her expensive clothes, took her to fine places, and showered her with gifts. But slowly, his true colors began to show. Luke hated her commitment to God. He discouraged her from attending choir rehearsals. "Why waste your time there when you should be at home taking care of me?" he would say when she insisted on going for ministrations. Luke locked the door or raised his hand against her. Soon, the vibrant voice that once lifted souls became silent. Faith's ministry died inside her marriage. To make matters worse, Luke's temper turned violent. He beat her often, and she suffered several miscarriages. The once joyful sister became a shadow of herself, lonely, broken, and full of regret. Meanwhile, life moved on for Brother Mark. Mark was deeply hurt when Faith left him, but he surrendered everything to God. After some years, God brought Grace into his life. Grace was gentle, prayerful, and equally gifted in singing. Their union was filled with peace and purpose. Together, they ministered in churches, conferences, and crusades. They became a power couple for God's kingdom, raising others and spreading revival everywhere they went. One fateful day, a great Christian program was organized in Faith's community. It was the biggest event of the year, and everyone looked forward to it. Faith, now weary and broken, convinced Luke to let her attend. She thought it would refresh her soul. That evening, the hall was packed. When the MC announced the guest ministers, Faith froze. On stage walked Mark and his wife Grace. Hand in hand, they mounted the podium and began to sing. Their voices blended beautifully. Carrying the power of God, the atmosphere shifted. People lifted their hands in worship. Tears rolled down cheeks, and the presence of God filled the place. Faith couldn't hold back. She broke down and wept bitterly like a child. Memories flooded her mind, how it could have been her and Mark, how they once prayed together, dreamed together, and prepared for ministry. But she had abandoned God's original plan as she cried. Her heart screamed silently, "Oh God, what have I done? I chose wrongly. I destroyed my calling." That night, while the congregation rejoiced, Faith's heart bled. Her husband Luke sat uninterested beside her, scrolling through his phone. While her spirit longed for the day she truly walked with God, the lesson became clear: when we step out of God's original plan, no matter how good an alternative looks, the end is always sorrowful. Faith's story became a warning to young believers. Don't exchange God's will for worldly gain. Don't let temporary riches distract you from eternal purpose. Above all, obedience is better than sacrifice, because God's original plan is always the best.